Hello, everybody. Chris Dinnell here with Remax West Coast and the Dinnell Real Estate Group, Richmond's community realtors. And today on the call, I got Richmond's community mortgage broker and mortgage specialist. She's one of the best in the industry, Kelly Hudson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Chris. How's your day going?
Well, it's going well, but my phone's been ringing off the hook with people asking me questions about June 1st stress test that has come into effect today. So I wanted to ask you, what are the changes with the stress test and how are they going to be affecting clients moving forward? Just jump right into it, Kelly.
Okay, the stress test. So the why behind the stress test is the federal government is afraid people are spending too much of their money on a mortgage. And they're worried because we're at all-time low rates that if the rates go up in hypothetically 2, 3, 5 years, would you still be able to afford your mortgage? So what they do is they have a stress test, a rate we have to pretend you're paying as a mortgage broker. You pay the rate that the lender gives you, but we have a stress tested rate. And what that does is it adds a buffer. So currently, well, actually not currently, yesterday, the stress test was 4.79%. And as of today, it's 5.25. So if you're getting an interest rate of 2%, we still have to pretend you're paying 5.25. And as you can imagine, the higher interest rate you're pretending to pay, your money does not stretch as far. So again, it was set up by the provincial government, or not the provincial, the federal government, to protect people from spending too much of their income on their mortgage. So they're trying to help people not spend too much on their mortgage. And as you can imagine, it will affect affordability starting today.
Wow. So, but didn't we already have the stress test come into effect back in March of 2018?
Actually January of 2018. So again, the same idea. At that time, if you got an interest rate of 2.5%, you just had to qualify on that interest rate for a 5-year fixed mortgage. So the government stepped in again and said, "Ooh, what if you can afford your mortgage now? What happens if the rates go up?" So at that time, they increased the rate to what they called the stress test. And the stress test was basically a 5-year average of the posted big bank rates. So it would fluctuate if the economy is going up or down. So it always floated a little bit. So typically it's whatever the going 5-year rate is plus 2%. Now, what has happened currently is they figured out that that's not a big enough of a gap. They think that we need even more protection from ourselves. So they've added an even bigger gap. So yes, January 1st, 2018, the first stress test for a 5-year fixed mortgage came into being. And now everything across the board as of today is going to be stress tested at 5.25. And that number will probably fluctuate depending what's happening with the economy. So if the economy improves and interest rates go up, that number will also go up.
Wow. Okay. Good to know. Now, how does this impact affordability for clients?
Okay, I'm going to take us back to 2018 because that was the big one. So when people in 2018 had to be stress tested, it actually afforded or impacted their affordability by 20 to 25%.
And then we saw the market go down about 20, 25% shortly after that, ironically, eh?
So what would happen back in 2018 is if on December 31st, you could have afforded a mortgage for, let's say, 500,000, January 1st, now with the stress test, you could only afford a mortgage for 400,000. Now, using that same analogy, today, the new stress test, it's not quite as impactful as the one in 2018, but what it will do for your affordability is impact it by about 4 to 5%. So using our $500,000 as a benchmark, if you could have afforded $500,000 on May 31st, as of June 1st, you could only afford 475. So the
Wow. So
two of the stress tests is basically impacting your income by about 25 to 30% of what you could have spent before. It's a government rule. There's no way around it. You just need to deal with it and make sure that you have your financing in order. But yes, it is an impact and it starts today.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for letting all of our viewers know about what's happening. And you're always a wealth of knowledge and always an expert in your field. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you,
Yep.
maybe to ask questions or maybe even redo their mortgage or get a new mortgage, how can they do that, Kelly?
Best way is to give me a phone call. So 604-312-5009 or kellyhudsonmortgages.com. You can Google me. I'm on easy to find on the internet, or fire me off an email, kelly@kellyhudsonmortgages.com. Would love to chat.
Perfect. You heard it here, everybody. Reach out to Kelly if you have any questions. She's absolutely amazing. And, you know, she loves minions. Look at that. She's got them always helping out, keeping an eye on her and keeping an eye on the stress test as well. So thank you so much, Kelly. We really appreciate it and have an amazing day and week ahead.
Okay. You have a good day too.